Hey, what's up guys, it's Caboose XP. I'll bring you another Spider-Man PS4 video, and today what I got for you guys is a massive breakdown of the trailer that was recently released for Spider-Man PS4 by Insomniac themselves, as well as a bunch of information that they talked about in a live stream that they did just recently, talking about the game, breaking down the trailer, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Now, before we jump into everything, I wanted to ask you guys, of course, if you could leave a like rating on the video, as it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. So if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. And with that said, well, let's get right into this. Let's jump in. Let's talk about this. So, Insomniac held a live stream on Friday, and they talked a whole lot about Spider-Man PS4. They accepted some fan questions, and then they did a massive breakdown of the latest trailer of the game that was just recently released. So let's break down some of the information that was introduced to us. Now, one of the big things they mentioned in this live stream was that you can indeed play as Mary Jane Watson. That is 100% confirmed now by Insomniac themselves. This was something that I was speculating about based on the latest trailer that we got for the game. There was a shot of Mary Jane, and it looked to be in the third person, so I was speculating, hey, are we going to be able to play as Mary Jane Watson? And they have confirmed that is the case. They even confirmed that you might be playing as her a little more than you think, and there might even be missions centered around you playing as her. And it looks like the reason behind that is she is a reporter for the Daily Bugle, and she's a bit of a ruthless or, fearless reporter. She really wants to uncover a story, so there's no information beyond that, but it looks like there may even be some missions in Spider-Man PS4 story mode where you're going to be playing as Mary Jane, maybe doing some reporting, doing your journalistic things. Obviously, like I said, she's working for the Daily Bugle, so maybe we're going to be taking some pictures and stuff. I don't know, but I think this is a really cool, unique thing that makes Spider-Man PS4 a different Spider-Man game that we haven't gotten before, and now I'm wondering what other characters will we get the chance to play as, if we will. They also reiterated again that there will be a lot of alternate costumes to choose from in Spider-Man PS4. This is something that they mentioned in a tweet a long time ago, but they said it once again in this live stream that yes, there will be a lot of costumes to choose from in this game. Now, one thing I forgot to mention or didn't even notice the first time around when breaking down the latest trailer for Spider-Man PS4 was that right at the end of the trailer when Spidey is putting on the mask and he's in his apartment, you can see a poster of him in his wrestling days, the original Spider-Man days when he was like young and just getting started, and you can see what his wrestling suit looked like. And I'm wondering, maybe is that a first look at an alternate costume that we might have in the game? I don't know, but there is a chance, that's for sure. Now, a few gameplay things that they touched on during the live stream, they did mention that they're working a lot on the speed and more variety in terms of animations. This is definitely something you want in this Spider-Man game. One of the complaints that I remember a lot of people having in some of the previous Spider-Man games that we've been getting as of late was that, a lot of the animations are just the same, and you get the same exact animations over and over and over in the combat, in the swinging and everything. So it looks like Insomniac is working really hard to not have that be the case with this game, and they're working hard on getting a variety of animations and working on the sense of speed in the game. That was another complaint that I saw during the E3 trailer, although I don't think that that was really a valid complaint, because from what I remember hearing, the reason that the swinging was so slow in that E3 trailer was just because they wanted to have the helicopter that you see that Spidey's chasing in the shot the entire time. So it looks like the speed that you're going to have in the game is going to be a lot faster than what we saw in the E3 gameplay, and that is something that they are currently working on. And yes, to relieve any stress that anyone might have, although you shouldn't, the webs do attach to buildings in this game. It was imperative that they made sure that that was the case when working on the gameplay mechanics with the swinging. So yes, webs attached to buildings, although there really shouldn't have been anyone doubting that, considering we saw this in the E3 gameplay. They also mentioned that there is going to be a progression system in the game in which you can upgrade and unlock new stuff for Spidey. I don't know necessarily if this is going to be how it works for alternate costumes. We'll see. But we've seen this in the Arkham games. We've even seen this in previous Spider-Man games where you just get unlock tokens or something for leveling up or beating down thugs or playing through the story mode. And this lets you have new abilities, maybe new different kind of webs or web attacks or just normal attacks. I don't know, but I'm glad that this is something that's going to be in the game. It allows for a little more replayability, or it just allows you to have something to work towards, a goal to work towards even after you beat the game. They also mentioned that the map in this game is huge. It's a lot bigger than their previous game, Sunset Overdrive, and the reason that the map is so big in this game is because Spidey moves so fast and he covers so much ground, which is just a great thing to hear. I can't wait to see what the actual map size is going to end up being, and I'm very, very excited that they're making a really big open world for us to traverse through, especially hearing now that Spidey moves so fast that they actually have to make the map a bit bigger so that he can cover more ground and have a little more places to explore for the players. They also mentioned that there is a bit of an Easter egg in the latest trailer saying that the Sanctum Sanctorum is actually in the trailer and that Doctor Strange exists within the Spider-Man PS4 universe. I think that's really awesome. They say that there's going to be plenty of landmarks and stuff like that in the New York that they're creating that lets you feel like you're within the Marvel universe of other characters in the Marvel universe, and I think that's awesome. So I rewatched the trailer and I tried to pinpoint where exactly the Sanctum Sanctorum might end up being, and I think I found it. I believe it's this building right here, but please correct me if I'm wrong and let me know if there's a different shot in the trailer that I'm just not catching here in which you actually do see the Sanctum Sanctorum and it's very visible within your sight. Either way, I'm super happy about this. I love Easter eggs like this, and I think that is super cool that this is going to be a very Marvel New York where we're going to have a lot of these Easter eggs and references to other characters outside of Spidey. Alright, so let's talk about a bunch of the story mode stuff that they broke down in this live stream. I want to give a shout out to Friv2099 on Reddit. He made this massive Reddit post bullet pointing everything, all the important stuff during the live stream, and it's definitely helping out with the making of this video. So if you want to check out the full Reddit post for yourselves, it's going to be linked in the description. There's some stuff that maybe I'm not going to mention in this video that I didn't find too important that maybe you will find very interesting. So check the link in the description box below. Again, shout outs to Friv2099 on Reddit for helping me out with the making of this video. But alright, let's jump in. Let's talk about some story mode stuff. One thing that they mentioned was that Mary Jane and Peter have known each other since high school, and the relationship status between them currently is it's complicated. Now I don't really know why this is, but the speculation going around in the community and myself is that it's because of Gwen Stacy. And to be honest, I think this has a lot to do with the big white Spidey symbol on Spider-Man's suit. They keep saying at Insomniac that that has a reason to be there, that there is a reason that Spidey has the big white symbol on his chest instead of what would be like a classic looking Spidey suit. And everyone is speculating that, well, maybe Gwen Stacy died in this universe and maybe that was him in mourning or something. I don't know, maybe he was paying homage to her or something like that using the white symbol. So I don't know exactly what it could be, but maybe the reason that it's complicated between him and Mary Jane is because, you know, he's broken after what happened with Gwen Stacy and he's just not ready for another relationship as of yet. It's also mentioned that, yes, he is a much more seasoned Spidey in this game. He is 8 years into being Spider-Man, and it actually does work chronologically with actual time. You know, he started in 2010 when he was 15 years old, and then 8 years later, he's 23 years old now as the making of this game. We get a glimpse in the trailer that Peter does get evicted from his apartment, and this was confirmed by Insomniac themselves, which is kind of depressing. It looks like everything that goes good in Spider-Man's life goes bad in Peter's, and I'm really interested to see how they're going to be handling this whole dynamic between Spider-Man and Peter Parker, because it looks like things just aren't going very well for Peter Parker at the moment, and I want to see how he's going to handle that and how the character is going to develop throughout the story mode of the game. Wilson Fisk was the big bad before, obviously, he'd been put behind bars, and before his arrest, Peter had been chasing him for a very long time, and after he's been arrested, that now leads to bigger threats for Spider-Man to face. Miles Morales has a big part in this game, as we've mentioned and as we've heard before from Insomniac, and he is going to be working at the Feast homeless shelter, helping out Aunt May. We get a glimpse of this as well in the trailer. A side note about Miles Morales, he is 15 years old and he's attending Midtown High School, and the two characters, him and Peter, actually have a bit of an important dynamic in the story mode. I also find it a bit of a coincidence that, you know, Miles is 15, Peter was 15 when he started being Spider-Man. Could we be getting a little subtle hint at what might happen with the character of Miles in this game? I don't know, but it would be damn cool to see Miles suiting up as Spidey in this game and having the ability to play as him as well. Now, Norman Osborn is the head, or was the head, of Oscorp, but now in this game, as we can see in the trailers, he is running for re-election of mayor of New York. It's also mentioned that this is Spider-Man's story, Spider-Man's game. It's about Peter, it's about Spidey. Yes, maybe there are going to be times where you get to play as Mary Jane during some sections, but through and through, this is about Peter, this is about Spider-Man, and everything going on in his life. Final things worth mentioning about the story mode for the game, Captain Yuri Watanabe does believe in Spider-Man as a force for good, and she does want to work with him, and we've seen glimpses of this in the E3 gameplay. However, the rest of the police force and the city of New York in general has a bit of a love-hate relationship with the character, and I'm assuming a lot of this does come from, you know, J. Jonah Jameson and the way that he always prints those headlines about Spidey. I'm hoping J. Jonah Jameson is in the game, and I'd love to see his snarkiness and his hatred towards Spidey shining bright in this game, and that being the reason that there is actually a love-hate relationship with the city and Spider-Man. Mr. Negative in the game gets stronger throughout the game, and we actually get to see a little idea of that in the E3 gameplay, you know, towards the start of the game. He's really just causing some havoc, doing some work, and then towards the end of that gameplay, he goes full on Mr. Negative, and he looks to be really, really powerful. The shocker that we also see in this game is Herman Schultz. That is right, the classic shocker. And speaking about classic, there are going to be classic and new characters in the game, and there's a ton of them. There's a lot of characters that we haven't seen been revealed yet. And we also heard a little bit about Harry Osborn. It looks like he was friends with Peter and MJ in high school, and he's in one of the pictures in Peter's apartment, but it looks like right now there are no whereabouts of the character as of present day in this game. That last little bit, I am scratching my head at a little bit. You know, Harry is a very integral part to the story of Peter Parker. He was his best friend, and it looks like they're keeping that lineage within this game, as they were best friends in high school. But now I'm wondering, where is his whereabouts in this game? What is he doing in present day? You know, is he just not going to be mentioned? Is he just doing whatever? Or is there some bad blood between Harry Osborn and Peter? Is Harry Osborn the Green Goblin? Are we going to fight against him in this game? I don't know. They did say that there's a lot of characters, both classic and new, that are going to show up in Spider-Man PS4 that they have yet to reveal. So I can't wait to see what those characters are going to be, and I'm very interested to see what's going on with Harry Osborn and whether or not we're going to get any mention of him in the campaign of Spider-Man PS4. And with that said, that brings us to the end of this video, this massive news roundup of gameplay mechanics, story mode details, and Easter eggs in the Spider-Man PS4 trailer that we got during Paris Games Week. And now I kick it to you guys. What are your thoughts on all this? What did you think about all this information that we got in this video? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm Caboose XBL, and once again, if you can leave a like rating on the video, it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.